Do expectations lead to disappointment? What do you expect from life? A question we ask ourselves or our friends. When life seems to throw a curveball, or you find yourself at a crossroad. In our teenage years, parents, teachers and other mentors ask, "What do you expect from life?" in order to help you find a suitable career path or make life choices. Later in your 20s, people ask this question to find out when you might get married or have children. And during late adulthood, you might ask this in reviewing if you have achieved all you've wanted to, or if it's time to change direction. So let me ask you now, what do you expect from life? High, low, or realistic expectations? How you answer this question gets you thinking about the progress you've made toward your expectations or goals. A common goal is to have good relationships, a happy family and a comfortable financial position. Our fulfillment level is often based on our level of expectation. Some people have high expectations from life. And this is great because it gets you striving beyond the norm. You know the saying, aim for the moon and you'll land among the stars. For some, this is the outcome that they feel satisfied with for their life. But others with high expectations can often feel let down when these are not met. What do you expect from life? Your answer can leave you feeling disappointed and regretful. At the other end of the spectrum are those who have low expectations for their lives. These people set very achievable goals and reach them, but still feel unfulfilled. Why? Because they have not given themselves the opportunity to unlock their full potential. On the positive side, people with low expectations also do not expect as much from other people, and so don't feel as let down when people are just human and fail them in relationships. There must be a middle ground to what you expect from life. For the sake of this video, let's call it realistic expectations. Too high or too low can leave us feeling a little down on life. Let's put things in perspective. A relationship with realistic expectations allows for people to have faults. Yes, from time to time we will let our partner down. And they, in turn, will let us down. That is the beauty of realistic expectations. And there is space for forgiveness in those times. Realistic expectations allow us to go as far as we are able in our career, considering our abilities and skills but striving to be the best we can be. What do you expect from life? Something realistic? Adaptable expectations. Life often throws us curveballs or brings us to T-junctions, where a choice made by us, or for us, forces life to take a different path. Maybe it's an accident or an illness, a breakup or losing a job. Nobody plans for these things to happen. Our character is really proven in how we make it through life events like these. What we're really talking about is what happens when what we expect from life doesn't turn out the way we planned. Let's take relationships as an example. Many of us might expect to get married by a certain age. If you've watched the movie My Best Friend's Wedding, the whole plot revolves around a promise two people make to each other, that if they hadn't found love by the time they were 28, then they would marry each other. If something you plan doesn't work out, do you find it easy to go to plan B? Many people may answer yes, especially to insignificant problems that might arise. What if you plan to have children, and it turns out to be impossible for whatever reason? What if you find yourself facing a relationship breakup, when you always imagined growing old with that person? Life requires us to sometimes be adaptable in what we expect from it. Maybe a plan B doesn't come to mind right away. And often you may face a grieving process before you can see that new plan. But those who are able to adapt and move on will generally experience success. What do you expect from life? Some level of unpredictability? From life, or for life? So this question compels us to think about what we expect life to give us. What if? For a second, we consider what we give to life. We can easily adopt an attitude of taking all we can get. Just look around and you won't take long to find advertising. On television, the ad block on a website, an email, or your cell phone. No doubt it is offering something guaranteed to make your life better. It is easy to be convinced that life could be all about you. What do you expect from your life? What if we turn that around and said it could be about everything else but you? There is a popular song from the 90s by a group called the New Radicals titled, "You Get What You Give." While this makes it seem like an equation, it could be that you do get more by giving. What if happiness and fulfillment are really about what we can give to others, instead of trying to take for ourselves? Maybe it is donating to a cause you think is important, or volunteering your time, or making a meal for a sick friend or family member. There will always be someone who could use your assistance. When you do something for a reason outside of yourself, you get a feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction. The fact that you have made someone else's day better also takes the focus off your own problems for a moment, and gives you a better perspective on life. What do you expect from life? The opportunity to help someone else? There are many factors that influence what we expect from life. Often our parents play a big role in forming our expectations. For one, we watched their lives from a young age, and saw how their lives played out. They may also communicate the expectations that they have for your life. We cannot blame them for everything. However, there are many other places that help us decide what we expect from life, including our peers, religious faith, mentors, television or movies, circumstances, and partners. Have you considered how you came to expect what you expect from life? We do get to choose what we expect from our own lives. No one else does this for us. We can choose how to respond when things don't go as planned. And we can choose to raise or lower our expectations. It does take some thought and conscious consideration of what influences our expectations. But a happy, fulfilled life is available for all of us to take hold of. What do you expect from life? The future of relationships. As the world and its cultures evolve, so do relationships. Women empowerment, social media, and online dating are some of the biggest driving forces behind the relationship evolution. The future of relationships might seem bleak, but that might not necessarily be the case. More and more people are increasingly prioritizing independence and freedom. Long-term commitments are no longer viewed as desirable. People will be a lot choosier in the future. Many people will have a checklist of must-have traits in a potential partner. These checklists will be strictly adhered to. This will be especially the case with future independent women, who will be seeking relationships for completely different reasons than women in earlier generations. Roles in relationships will no longer be defined by gender, but by the individual personalities and giftings of each partner. The future of relationships holds in store a lot of therapy, which will be accepted as a social norm. People will be more willing to recognize and accept there are issues in their relationships. They will try to identify solutions, and if they fail to, they will end the relationship. This will be as a result of women holding more and more sway in a relationship. New technologies are changing the face of relationships. Meeting and interacting with new people is faster. The future of relationships holds in store revolutionary apps, or software that will provide matchmaking services that determine people with compatible genes. Studies on this are already underway, and significant inroads have been made into the field. With these services in place, gender and relationships will start to have measurable values, which will be used to develop compatibility indicators. This will result in shortening of relationship life cycles. Relationship performance will be given a metric, and from the performance reports of failed relationships, a person could be able to know what to look for and do differently in the next relationship. One disadvantage social media has ushered in is instant gratification, which fades very quickly. The process of getting to know someone requires time. People reveal their true nature over time. The future of relationships poses a lot of unknowns, but the only sure thing to expect is the unexpected. The human nature and desire to find love will always remain, and people will seek love as it is a basic human need. But it will prove to be more complicated, despite all the efforts to simplify relationships. Like, share, comment. Subscribe to Total Transformation channel.